Subject matter today, I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about cheap, good, and fast. It's the common belief that these are the three ways that you can deliver goods and services. You can deliver goods and services cheap and good, right? But you won't get them very fast. If you want something done cheap and you want it to be made well, it's not going to be made very fast. The second thing is good and fast. You want something good and you want it quickly. You're not going to get it very cheap. You have to pay a premium for that. The last, fast and cheap. You want something fast and you don't want to pay very much for it. It's not going to be of very good quality. I think as far as Pakistan goes, I think most of us would agree we fall in that last category. Fast and cheap. Hence, our goods and services are not of the highest quality. There isn't much demand for them in the international markets. The reason why I bring up this topic is I came to Pakistan about a year ago, just over a year ago, and one of the first things I did was I started volunteering. I volunteered with an environmental organization, and at that time they were recruiting individuals from post-secondary institutions. They were recruiting them to make a little bit of a steering committee. So I took part in the interviews as an interviewer, and I was amazed to learn the amount of talent, the amount of education that is in this country, the amount of passion that the young people of this country have. I was interviewing kids who were not just volunteering with one organization, they were volunteering with many organizations while participating in school full time. And they were passionate about the things they were volunteering. A lot of these young people had master's degrees already or working on their master's degrees. Another amazing learning for me. And then I started to dig a little bit deeper. And then I found out that 17% of Pakistan's population is in school at any given time. 17%, that's all school, primary, secondary, post-secondary. 17%, that ranks us 7th in the world. Now we're not talking about quality of education, we're just talking about the amount of people that are in school. Okay? 60% of Pakistan's population is under the age of 30. What does this give us? This gives us an educated, talented, young, abundant pool of resources, human resources. So I started thinking about this. Other countries are dying for this kind of a resource. Other countries have problems, where their workforce is aging and their birth rates are low. And Pakistan has this huge abundance of talent. So I started thinking about this and I thought, why can't we compete in this category, fast and cheap? We have two neighbors that have built their entire economies on this category, right? We have India and China. They've built their entire economies on this concept of fast and cheap. No one makes things faster and cheaper than India and China. And we all know the quality of those products as well. So I started thinking about this a bit more. And then I came to a realization. I said, the realization that I came to was we're in the wrong category. Pakistan should not be competing in this category. Our neighbors do it better than us. They've been doing it longer than us. And we should not be competing against them. Where we need to compete, in my belief, is cheap and good. The first category. And I believe this for two reasons. One is because of our vast abundance of talent. We have low cost of entry into most markets. We have a vast abundance of raw materials and resources that are available in Pakistan. So we can make things cheap. Okay, we can make things very inexpensively. The issue now is, can we make them well? Can we make them well enough so that there's a demand for them in the international marketplace? In order to do this, I think a few things have to change. When I speak with these young people, and I'm trying to understand, I work with a lot of them at one time or another. I'm working with 10 or 12 young people who are either in school or recent grads. And I talk to them and I'm trying to understand why the quality of their work is very poor. When they come to work for me, the quality of their work is very poor. And I'm trying to understand this. They have master's degrees. They go to the most elite schools in the country. And their quality of their work isn't very good. And they tell me that in their schools, the focus is on volume of work. Try to do as much as you can as quickly as possible. Move on to the next thing. So this then translates into our workplace environment as well, right? And I can attest to this 100%. I get pressured by my clients all the time. Najib, don't worry about strategy. That's just backdrop information. Don't worry about planning. Don't worry about process. Don't worry about documentation. We just need to get this done. We need to get paid. We need to move on to the next thing. Right? That's what the focus is. And in our marketplace, it's the same thing, right? We all want cheap and fast in our marketplace as well, right? We're not willing to pay for quality. We're not willing to wait for quality. Everything is, abhi, isi waqt, jaldi, right? How many times do you hear that at the counter, wherever you go, right? We don't want to give our vendors time to do things right. We don't want to give them the time, right? So the other thing is, I believe in a place like Pakistan, quality should be free. Okay, when so many products are handmade, when all the raw material and resources are here in the country, quality should be free. There is no reason why we should have to pay a premium for quality. But in order to get that quality, we need to demand it. We have to not settle for things. You know, all I hear is, whenever I say, why can't this be done better, why can't that be better? This is Pakistan, right? Tip. This is Pakistan. That's how things are, right? I think we should reverse that, right? When people say that, why are things here so inexpensive, but of such great quality, we should be able to say, because this is Pakistan. And that's how we do things, right? But it's not easy, right? They say change is like a bulldozer. You can be part of the bulldozer, you can be part of the road. But people resist change. People aren't comfortable with change. Innovation is a struggle. It's not easy. Like I said, I get pressured all the time to do things faster. I had a full head of hair when I came to Pakistan, I swear. I lost all of this hair working here. Working with the young people here, working with clients here, demanding things fast, fast, fast. Whereas I have been trained to, and my mind works in a different way. I believe that you need to spend most of your time in the planning phase, in the development phase, to properly put together strategy, to document process, so that you can replicate quality. It's not just about making one thing well, it's making sure all of it will be made well, and that others who come aboard can take on that process, understand it, and they can also make things well, or provide services well. And those things take time. They take time to develop. The other, I think one of the other issues is that we, as a country, I think we have sort of a chip on our shoulder, right? You know, and we should. I think we should have a chip on our shoulders. You know, I keep telling everyone that the young people that I meet in Pakistan that I work with, I could train them and they could compete with anybody, any university in the world. Whether it's in debate, product development, marketing, research. I will spend 6 months with a group of students from Pakistan and I will take you anywhere in the world and we'll compete on any one of those areas. And I guarantee it. And we will win. So we need to drop the chip on our shoulder and not worry about what our neighbors are doing and just worry about correcting ourselves and our approach to providing goods and services. I think, as I said, cheap and good is where we need to be. We need to approach this in a different manner. We need to not only give ourselves the proper lead time so that we can do things right, we need to also give other vendors the proper lead time so they can do things right. You know, I do a lot of coaching. Any athlete, any trainer will tell you that first you learn how to do things the right way, then you learn how to do it fast. Any good carpenter, any good tailor will tell you it's better to measure twice and cut once rather than the opposite, right? The opposite is very difficult to do if you cut something too short. I think we need to change the mindset in our education system so that young people are not focused on employment. Where will I go to work after I graduate? But focus on employability, to be able to work anywhere in the world, and there's a demand for you anywhere in the world. I tell students all the time, it shouldn't matter if there's only one job. You should get that job if you prepare yourself. I think we need to change our workplace environment to not focus on market price, but marketability. In most of the work environments I work on, it's all about, can we beat X competition's price, rather than, can we make our product better than their product? So we don't have to compete on market price, we compete on marketability. I think these are shifts in the way that we approach things. I've set up EnCorbus as sort of an incubator for this kind of thinking. I bring on young people, I bring on passionate entrepreneurs, teach them this way of planning, this way of process, this way of documentation, so that you can spend more time on that, and then you can quickly execute, quickly implement your ideas. I like to work with all types of different organizations, NGOs, multinationals, small, medium business, it doesn't matter. Because I think if you can teach them this way of thinking, and you can give them people that you've trained and put them into their organizations, you can also help them find new revenue streams outside of Pakistan and in Pakistan, new ways of making money, new ways of building the economy. That's what we've done with EnCorbus. I think there's an opportunity, there's an advantage here. There's very few countries that are competing in this cheap and good category. The ones that are doing it very, very well. Taiwan and Korea would be examples. Producing electronic parts for computers. They're doing it very well. They're building their economies on that type of thinking. And I think that's where a place like Pakistan, with this access to the abundance of talent, the abundance of educated young people, also needs to start looking towards cheap and good, and not fast. And again, like I keep telling all of my clients that pressure me, I measure twice and I cut once. Thank you.